Al Ahly and Zamalek meet again in the African Super Cup, and this is a historic harvest for the two poles of the Egyptian football. And Friday's match will be the latest chapter in this important competition. Over the phone, we have Mr. Mohamed Adel, our sports analyst. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. So first of all, how do you see Zamalek's defender El Winch returning to the squad for the CAF Super Cup?
Well, including the name of Mahmoud Habdi Winch in the Zamalek squad, I believe that he will not be one of the main squad of Zamalek versus Ali, as he was being absent since the beginning of the year, since January, and he is having some rehabilitation so as to come back to the pitch and participate with Zamalek. I believe he is included in the squad as he is one of the players who is in the African Zamalek list and being rehabilitated in Riyadh with the players. So I believe Winch will not be included in the main squad. He will not participate in the game.
So can we anticipate anything for this match according to the level of performance that we know or we have seen for both teams?
Well, we are playing in the beginning of the season, so the performance will be not the best for Al Ahly or Zamalek as we are in the beginning of the season, but remaining Al Ahly and Zamalek, the Cairo derby, and it's an African derby. In this game will be one of the main events, not only in Egypt, only in the Arab nations, only in Africa, but worldwide, because we are talking about the CAF Super Cup between two great African clubs. Beyond of the performance, we are talking about players who begin the season. I believe it will be a great game between, a very difficult game between the two teams. We hope that we watch a good game that represents the great performance of the Egyptian players and Egyptian clubs.
Well, the tickets for the CAF Super Cup 2024 actually was sold out in 24 hours. So how do you perceive this atmosphere and just to be really something motivating, both of them actually?
Well, as I told you, it's a very difficult game. We are 24 hours of the game. All people are waiting for that game. Even in Riyadh, they are waiting so much for this game, for this great event between Ahly and Zamalek. I believe that the winner will have a great success this season, will take many steps forward in this season, including playing in the Egyptian League, the national competitions and the continental competitions, whether the CAF Champions League or the Confederation Cup. Al Ahly will play in the African Champions League and Zamalek will play in the CAF Confederation Cup. I believe that this game will be a step forward for the winner.
So if we're talking about each one separately, we have the Red Devils thinking if they can do it and make up for losing the title in the first edition to their traditional rivals. And on the other side, the Whites can succeed or not in repeating their achievement, actually. So usually the fans are standing in between both and thinking about this.
Sure. We are talking about it's the second game between Ahly and Zamalek in the CAF Super Cup. Ahly lost the latest CAF Super Cup versus Ittihad Al-Asma, the Asma of Algeria, last season. Zamalek and Ahly, Zamalek hope, Zamalek players and Zamalek fans hope that they win again, win and beat Al Ahly again in the African or the CAF Super Cup. As I told you, it's a very difficult game. It's a Cairo derby. It's an African derby. It will affect positively or negatively for the winner or the losers. So we are talking about a team that lost the CAF Super Cup last year, but they are the champions of the Champions League versus their historical team opponent which is Zamalek. And Zamalek, as I told you, I hope to win again the CAF Super Cup versus Al-Ahly.
So what message would you like to give to the supporters of both teams?
Playing in the derby, a derby game, it's a supportive point for both, for Ahly and Zamalek. The importance of the game for the fans, the importance of the game for the administration, whether in Ahly or Zamalek, the importance of the game in history. Every player thinking about his history and his CV after being retired, that I beat whether Ahly or Zamalek in the CAF Super Cup in front of 27K fans in Riyadh. It will be historical because of it's just a derby, a great derby. So the supportive points will be very clear for both teams, for both fans, for both administrative representatives, whether it's Ahly or Zamalek, because it's just a derby, a great derby.
Well, if we are talking about the challenges facing each team separately, what kind of challenges, if we are going to talk about the players and the team and even the techniques, if we are talking about Al-Ahly and Zamalek?
Well, talking about Zamalek first, they have
Okay.
many challenges. First of all, in the defensive line, they have a limited number of players in the defensive line. The performance of the defensive line is not that great in the point of view of the Zamalek fans, and we are watching. We did watch Zamalek games versus the police of Kenya in the Confederation Cup. We saw there is some problems in the defensive lines. I believe also Zamalek is in great need for a striker, for a forward player. I believe getting the Palestinian player Omar Farag with Safety Jaziri and Nasser Mansi, I believe it will solve some of the problems. About Al-Ahly, I believe the problems is much more lower and a little, but there are some what I want to say, some gaps between the midfield line and the defensive line. The great teams can play in this gap, and it can create many problems for Al-Ahly, but in the qualitative point of view, I believe Al-Ahly is steadier, and they are more ready and more stable. As we saw, I believe Al-Ahly will begin the game with the same main squad who begin the game versus Gormahia of Kenya. I believe Zamalek will be some changes because of the new arrivals of the players, like Mohamed in the left back, Mohamed Hamdi left back, and Omar Farag in the forward line. Also, Conrad Michalak, the Polish player, in the left as a left or right winger. So we'll see tomorrow what will happen.
Well, I don't know if actually you are going to agree with me. When we talk about this magic ball, when we talk about soccer in general, and I can see so far that really the attitude of the fans has changed a lot. Actually, they are all together, they are watching the matches, and this soft power of the soccer in general actually attracting people and making them all sitting around, whether we're talking those who belong to Al-Ahly or to the Zamalek, they are sitting together watching and enjoying and being taken from all the hectic daily routine.
It's the role of football, the role of sports, that it unites people, make them better, and getting out of their hectic lives by watching a football game for 90 minutes, watching football games. So it's the role of sports in general, you know.
Right. So, on the whole, or on the conclusion, how do you see the performance and the games played so far in general?
Well, we are in the beginning of the season in the for the Egyptian teams. We saw Al Zamalek, Pyramids, and Al Masri. They begin their season by playing in the 32 round of the African competitions, whether the African Champions League or the CAF Confederation Cup. We are still at the beginning of the season. We cannot make some points or getting some clues for the players, because we are just in the beginning of the season.
Right. Mr. Mohamed Adel, our sports analyst, thank you very much for joining us. And moving on to a short break, then we'll be back.